Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Kanye in February of 2021, and since then they've been co-parenting their 4 beautiful kids, though apparently Kim's been having a pretty rough time dealing with it. In a recent interview, she spilled all the tea on co-parenting with Kanye and how she's tried to protect her kids from all the craziness. So what's going on with Kim and her kids? Keep watching if you're curious to know more. First up, Kim Kardashian breaks into tears discussing co-parenting. In December 2022, the reality TV star Kim Kardashian appeared on Angie Martinez's IRL podcast. The 42-year-old broke down into tears as she recalled all that had been happening in the last year. Kim and Kanye are parents to North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm, and the kids are all aged 9, 6, 4, and 3 approximately. Kim ended up bursting into tears on the podcast as she compared how she grew up versus how her kids were growing up. The subject of her dad, Robert Kardashian, has always been a touchy one. "I had the best dad," she tearfully admitted. She mentioned that she didn't want to get emotional, but it had been a tough day for her and she felt like things were getting really hard. She talked about how co-parenting has been super hard for her, and from that point, the podcast took a turn as Kim discussed how hard it's been to shield her kids from all the drama. Coming up, what's co-parenting with Kanye like? Kim Kardashian certainly doesn't have it easy. She started crying during a podcast as she explained how difficult it was for her to co-parent with her ex, Kanye West. During the emotional interview, she discussed how her 45-year-old rapper ex and his public outbursts made it tougher and tougher to shield her children. Kim insisted that whenever Kanye has a public outburst, she does her absolute best to try and shield her children from the kind of drama that ensues afterward all over social media. She's been pretty careful to keep her kids in the dark. Still, Kim feels that if her kids ever come to her and ask about all this stuff in the future, she'd be prepared to answer their questions. Now, this has been a pretty public divorce for the two A-listers, so Kim's been comparing her own life with her kids. She feels bad about how great her dad was to her and how her kids don't get to experience the same joys. Angie Martinez, the podcast host, then mentioned that Kim was not exactly co-parenting with a person who was the quietest or easiest. Up next, Kim wants to give her kids what she had. An important reason behind Kim trying so hard to co-parent successfully with Kanye is that she had it so good with her own dad. She mentioned that because she had the best dad and the best memories, she wanted the same great experience for her own children. What's more, Kim was insistent that her kids don't know the things that are being said or whatever was happening in the world. "Why would I ever bring that energy to them?" she thought out loud. The incidents that have been happening with Kanye going off his meds are some really heavy grown-up stuff. So as kids, Kim felt that they were definitely not ready to deal with these things. That said, while they were able to stay in the dark, Kim wanted to keep it that way for as long as possible. But the moment they were ready to know what had happened, Kim was willing to give them all the answers. For now, she said she was going to stay silent. Looking at Kim's reasons for staying silent. Kim is staying quiet about what really goes on in the co-parenting situation between her and Kanye. She feels that this is important so her kids can have a good relationship with their dad. She believed that maybe one day her kids would thank her for not bashing their dad on the podcast. Kim even admitted to the host Angie Martinez that it wasn't her place to jump in. She'll be willing to answer any questions privately if they want to know something, though they'll thank her for staying quiet. This is why the 45-year-old Kardashian defended how she has been protecting him. She will continue to defend Kanye in the eyes of her kids for their own sake. Kim further explained that inside her own home, her kids have no clue what's going on outside as information is strictly regulated. Following up, Kim's children are kept away from all the news. Kim's not exactly doing great. She's been holding on by a thread. She felt like she was actually inching closer and closer to losing that thread too. We dare not think about what that could mean. While she's still hanging on though, she promises to protect her kids to the ends of the earth for as long as she can. Kim revealed that the other kids her children hang out with don't say anything to her kids about whatever is going on. Every time a new issue pops up, she does her best to protect her kids from the news. As far as it comes on the TV or the content that is on, it's a full-time job, she said. It must be. Can you imagine keeping a check on what your child sees on any and every screen at all times of the day? Now turn that effort 4 times because she has 4 kids. That said, it's great that she's rich and has help around the house to deal with it all. Coming up, the way this content control is helpful for Kim. Now, Kim got very honest on the podcast when she admitted that this helps her with disassociating from specific thoughts and things being said because that's not her. However, at the same time, it's quite tough to put up a brave face. When she's at home, she could be going through something, but if her kids want to listen to their dad's songs, she'll put them on no matter what is going on at the time. She says that she'll smile and blast his music in the car and sing along like nothing's wrong whatsoever. But when she's dropped off the kids, she ends up having a good cry in the car. Though she feels like one one day all this effort will be worth it, as one day her kids will thank her for bearing with all this and still managing not to bash their dad publicly. Now for Kanye West's anti-Semitism and controversy. Now, Ye has been doing some pretty messed up stuff lately. You may have heard about his insane hatred for Pete Davidson for dating Kim briefly. He then broke the news for making race-related comments when he and Candace Owens wore tops that read White Lives Matter during a Paris Fashion Week showcase for the Yeezy line in October. West has also been restricted on different social media sites because he made anti-Semitic tweets on October 8th. His tweet read that he was sleepy that night, but when he'd get up, he was going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. He added that Jews had toyed with him and tried to blackball anyone who opposes their agenda. It seems that Bill Burr predicted this breakdown all the way back in 2017. Yes, if you watch the footage of the comedian from the 2017 Netflix special Walk Your Way Out, you'll see that he spotted this coming. After Kanye appeared on the Alex Jones show recently, this old video from 2017 has resurfaced on the internet. What's more, West even ended up out crazying the conspiracy theory host by claiming that he liked Hitler and loved. Seriously, someone get this man back on his meds. Moving on to Bill Burr's prediction of West's breakdown. Now, Burr clearly states in the relevant section of the video that he is good at picking out psychos like West. Back then, his wife was West's fan, and he was too. But this all changed when he watched an interview with Kanye West. Burr mentioned how in the interview, West was talking a lot about how great he was. There was apparently a look in West's eye, and it made Burr very nervous. He felt a chill run down his spine. When he turned and looked to see who was speaking, he noticed it was a black person. Thank God it's a black guy. He was relieved. He had been very worried that this could end in a clannish direction otherwise. Burr was glad that the person talking was a black guy. This is because West had a huge ego, like it had floated down from the heavens itself. It could have landed in anybody, but it landed in a black guy. If it had landed in some blue-eyed white dude, you can't imagine the kind of damage it could have done. This could have wiped out entire civilizations. Okay, maybe a bit dramatic, but you get the point. Burr went on to equate it with worldwide famine and the moon colliding with the earth. Thank God that ego landed in a black guy, he repeated himself over and over again. Finally, the clip that has gone viral from 2017. The actual part of the video that has gone viral features Burr saying that the next time Kanye goes on a rant about himself, you should close your eyes, forget who is speaking, and really listen to what he is saying. He says stuff like he's a genius, he's a god, or he is Shakespeare. Besides, Kanye's biggest regret in 2017 was that he hadn't seen himself live, as he said he wanted to see himself from other people's standpoint. Burr mentioned that if these same words came from a white person's mouth, you'd think he was impersonating Hitler. Well enough, Burr was right. His comments turned into reality, as we can see that in recent years Kanye has spoken out justifying slavery, made anti-Semitic comments, and stood for slogans like White Lives Matter. It's shocking how accurate Burr's predictions for Kanye West were. In fact, West has even made headlines for visiting former President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. He was accompanied by white nationalist and Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes. The two had also appeared on conspiracy theorist Alex Jones' show earlier in November, where West made his insane remarks about Nazis. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Kim's struggles with co-parenting with Kanye West? Are you shocked that Burr predicted Kanye's breakdowns all the way back in 2017? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.